we have some hyenas that are home. Fantastic. It looks like a really cool den site, and in fact it is. There we go. Hey guys. Have you got yourself a little bone there of some sort or description? It looks like there's something on the mound itself. I want to have a quick look with my binoculars. No, it's just pieces of wood. It looked like almost like a bone, that one in front there, but it's just a piece of wood. Now, I'm not 100% sure which are the mothers here. I was talking to Ali and Taylor last night, and they were saying that they think that Scarback is the one mother, and then Ribbon's cub is also here. So I would imagine that's Djuma is the one that was in the hole, and this is then one of the slightly older ones, maybe January or one of those. And I'm sure many of you out there will be able to help us with an identifying features of that particular one, but that I think is in Djuma up there. It's about the right size and age. Getting so big. I haven't seen this little one for a long time, and it is definitely gotten a lot bigger than the last time I saw it. There comes the little one as well. Hello, good morning. I love baby hyenas. They're so cute. So Kylie, in terms of if a mother hyena dies and you're wondering if anybody else would come in and start to allo mother that little one, as far as I don't know, I've never seen it in action. I've seen, you'll find with the hyenas that they've got quite an established... Listen. The little one is whooping, but it sounds like a squeaky toy rather than a hyena. That's so cool. So with hyenas, they have a very sort of strict hierarchy, and so you'll find that if it's a female that's low ranking, none of those adults are going to try and raise their... It's just loving listening to this little one. So that's the little baby that was making that noise. It wasn't these two that were sniffing each other. It was the tiny little one that was calling. And you can hear how their sound will get deeper and deeper, and it'll eventually sound like a proper hyena in a few months' time. But for now, it's just a little high-pitched squeak that comes out of that hole. But in terms of the mothers, you'll find that they're very protective of their own, and they don't really share much with any of the other ones. You'll find that if they want to feed their young one, they'll chase off any other babies that are around suckling. So no, they wouldn't really look after another female's young one, and that little one would unfortunately probably then die. But come on, little one, come on out. You can just see its head poking out at the moment. Come on, don't be shy. Look how cute it is. So Ryan, you're wondering if hyenas are as affectionate as lions in terms of bonding with each other? Well, maybe not quite as affectionate in that they'll sit and groom and they'll rub up on one another and really kind of spend a long time bonding. You'll find with hyenas they tend to do a lot of greetings. So what we saw just now, where the old hyena and this Djuma was busy sniffing one another, and they sniff each other's genitals, and that's just to work out who one another is. There will be a bit of playing and a bit of biting and a bit of carrying on, and they'll kind of rub up on each other, but it's not quite as affectionate as what you'd see with lions, where they sort of head rub a lot of the time and groom each other effectively. These guys don't spend nearly as much time grooming. But in terms of mother and cubs, you'll find that that bond is very strong. So the mother is very affectionate towards her cubs, and she'll look after them and she'll groom them and have lots of time with them. So Chris, you say I'm right that this is January. Thank you, Chris. I wasn't 100% sure. I've been trying to learn the hyenas as much as possible, and obviously it's difficult because we haven't had a lot of time with them. But see that this hyena's got a little scar under its right eye, and then a nice big circular sort of spot pattern on its right shoulder as well. So that's kind of why I thought about it. Now, it seems like our luck is changing. We've got the hyenas at the den, and it seems like Miss McCurdy has managed to find something of her own that is rather large. seems like there's one bone in amongst those sticks that they were busy playing with, and January kind of pulled it out and was looking at it. But I can hear some monkeys alarm calling. It's definitely monkeys alarm calling to our eastern side. Now I wonder what's going on there. It wouldn't be for these hyenas. They obviously had a den and the monkeys will have seen them probably regularly, and these hyenas don't cause monkeys to alarm call, but there's definitely something that's kind of causing a bit of trauma. So maybe let me just get hold of Taylor and Herbie quickly to let them know. Herbie. Yeah, Herbie, there's monkeys alarm calling. It sounds like somewhere close to Weirtella camp. Don't know if you want to go follow up there. So Herbie's going to probably try and see if he can't get in that. See if he can't try and find any sign of whatever's causing those monkeys to get upset. The hyenas don't look too perturbed by it. They're not even listening to it, and that's probably because they're all quite young. If it was older, bigger, dominant females, often when they hear monkeys alarm calling, they know that there can be another predator, like leopard, and that sometimes means that there's food, and so they'll then go and trot off and try and go and investigate what's going on. But I was saying just now that there was almost looked like a bone that they had there that they were kind of playing with, and it was funny to watch because January pulled it and kind of took it to the out of the den, and little Intima came running along and grabbed it and quickly sort of made sure that it was its own bone and took it back towards the den itself. But they almost look like they're waiting for the adults to come back. They keep sort of scouring around and checking, and they've done a few loops of the den itself, trying to sort of look out for what's going on. And I would imagine that they're quite hungry and that they want food to be brought back, and that's why there's lots of staring going on. Hello, you. Jack, you're asking if hyenas are very social creatures. Well, yes, they are very social. Hello to you. It's sniffing us and just kind of checking us out. You can see that very, very close indeed. Don't worry, we're not going to do anything to you. Hello, little one. This way is so cool when hyenas are so close to you and they're kind of sniffing you and having this sort of moment. It's really very, very special indeed. But back to their sort of social structures, they are very social animals. You'll find that the clan is tightly knit. There'll be a hierarchy within them, but they still will do anything they can to protect a clan member. Even if it's a low-ranking female or a male, the older females or the bigger matriarchal females will come in and they'll try and protect them. So they try and look after each other as much as possible, and they try and make sure that they keep the clan healthy and keep them all sort of working together. You'll also find when it comes to food items, if it's a large item like let's say a buffalo and there's lions there, they'll work cooperatively to try and get rid of those lions so that they can all get a bit of food. So they really do work quite a lot together to try and find what they need and to make sure that they find the food that they need. So, Douglas, you want to know how many hyenas can dwell in a den at any given time? Well, Douglas, it's very dependent on the area. So, this particular clan at the moment has only got these two young ones, so Intima and this little one that you see poking its head out there. And so those are the only two that are actually living in the den at the moment. Then there will be January that will hang around and not spend too much time actually inside the den, but at the den itself, and then the mothers of those hyenas. So there will be quite a few that will spend time here. But the den around Elephant Plains, which is a much larger clan, and there's over 50 of those in that clan now. They at one stage, I remember them having a den where there was 12 youngsters in the den itself, which is a lot. It was a massive termite mound, bigger than what we're even seeing here, and so there was enough space for all 12 of them to fit in. But as they started to get bigger and they got to about the size of Intima, so it started to get a bit cramped, and then females actually split and they started to use two termite mounds right next to one another, and that's kind of how it went. So it just depends on the space of the termite mound and also the sort of size of the clan, which will dictate how many actually spend time at the clan. I mean, at the den itself. The most hyenas I've ever seen at a den including the young ones and the adults, was 32, and that was on Elephant Plains where we had all of them together. And so you had 32 different hyenas at the den itself, which was absolutely amazing. And I think the reason why there were so many there that day is because we probably found that there was a fact that there was a carcass there, so maybe one of the matriarchal females or higher ranking females brought a carcass, there goes the bone inside the hole, had brought a carcass back, and that then caused a bit of commotion, and the rest of the hyenas then started to arrive back. But quite a scene when you come around a corner and there's 32 of them sort of all around the mound and playing and moving around and vocalizing and sort of interacting with each other. It's pretty magical, that's for sure. You see though how Intima's behavior has changed. So she's still quite young, or he's still quite young. I've still yet to actually sex them, but as soon as that older hyena is now left, so the one that we call January is now moved away, gone straight towards the mound itself and towards the hole, where it's going to know if anything arrives, it can then just duck inside. You see it's a lot more nervous now that that bigger hyena has left. There's also no other adults here, and so that's why they're going inside and trying to hide away, because they know with no adults and no bigger hyena around, they have to be very careful about what they're doing. Now, the fact that they've gone inside is going to probably mean that it's a good time for us to maybe try and follow up on this monkey alarm call. Now, Geeky Beth, you're wondering if the hyenas chew on bones to clean their teeth. Well, I would imagine there's an element of sort of tooth cleanliness that comes from chewing bones, but it's more to gain calcium out of it, as well as the fact that they teeth, they're young, so they sometimes go through a teething process and chewing on things. As with any sort of domestic dog, you'll find when they're little ones that they do the same thing. So it's a case of they will do that with sort of the bones just to kind of ease the pain of the teeth and any other sort of issues that they have. Careful there.